have a procedure where I inflate a man's chest with saline solution, and then I do a method where I cut from the base of the balls up. I flip the balls out, move the fat around, I tuck under, and then I staple. So it creates, and I have to tuck the penis head and the balls in there, and then I fold it around, and it makes a vagina.
So how did it happen? Whereas though your ex got involved with your sister?
Honestly, I don't know when it started. I always think about that, and I'm just not sure. I feel like it had maybe been going on for like 3 years, but I'm not sure. So I don't know. I reconnected with my sister. My ex and I had moved back to LA. It was a bit closer to like North Hollywood where she was. So I think that's when it had started, and that was like we were together for 3 years. Like they had been she had been back in my life for 3 years. So I think it started immediately when we reconnected.
Okay. So how did you find this out though?
Well, there were a couple things that happened. Some neighbors had told me some things. I had took the kids on a trip, and the neighbors had called me. The kids had actually told me things, but you kind of don't believe people, or and they're not very honest about what they're saying, right? They would say like, I saw your sister here in the pool while you were gone with Scott, and I'd just be like, okay, well, she's family. I got a pool. She's supposed to come over, and but no, it was something was going on.
Okay. Something was going on. And
Something going on.
did you
Oh
have any signs of it before?
no, because I'm not that type of person to like always think that something's strange, or and I'm not a jealous person, so I never thought that. I had friends that would tell me things like, why your sister always wants you to watch her kids, give her kids back and spend time with your man. They would tell me things like that, and it just never connected to me. So
Never connected to you, and the whole time she was being slimy.
she was, but it was my younger sister, my youngest sister. She was always kind of envious, like towards me and my relationships, but I always tried to make her a part of my relationships. I'd take her out on dates with me. I would, have my boyfriends or husband buy her things, and I just think it blurred the line. I don't know, but I come from a long line of hoes. My mom cheated with an ex-boyfriend of mine, so it's like in the blood, I feel. But that's what's supposed to make you a better person, right? Like being around bad people, you're supposed to see that you should be better. You should strive to be your best and not be a bad person.
Okay, you said you come from a line full of hoes, huh? At least you admit it.
Well, promiscuous women that are attracted to other women's men. So that's a hoe. You don't have to be selling it, but definitely, living the life of a hoe, being with someone else's man. Take being second best or third best. So
Okay. Damn. Now, how younger is your sister than you?
Siggy, she's 15, maybe 15 years younger than me. I was born in 79, so I don't know what that makes me. I always add years on, 46 or 45, August 8th.
So you know
And
you be lying
so
about your age a lot. That's what it is.
what? No, I don't. I don't lie about my age. I usually tell people I'm 47 because I can't remember if I'm 45 or 46.
Okay. Okay. You said she's 15 years younger, so she was born in 94.
Yeah, yeah. And I was more of a mother to my sisters, so there's a part of me that like empathized with my sister, right? Like I felt like my ex was more the bad guy than her. I felt like she was a woman who was had a bunch of kids, who was looking for something more stable, and she thought that this was her chance. So I felt sorry for my sister and just felt like my ex was actually the bad guy over her.
So your ex showed you that he was the bad guy, but your sister, she was like trying to show you she was a good girl, but in all actuality, she was slimy.
No, no, she never showed me that because she was like, but I think because it's family, I empathized with her, even though she wasn't trying to be like kind about it.
Hmm.
She was like, I got your man, bitch. Like that kind of.
Oh.
So right, so it wasn't like there was no I'm sorry this happened, we fell in love. It was just kind of, my sister thought she was coming up. She was coming up on some money. She was coming up on a man, and that did not happen. That did not happen at all. I wanted it. I was really wishing the best for him. I was, because what can you do? You don't want to have that hate in your heart. You've got to move forward. And having anger for people that did you wrong, that clearly aren't in the right frame of mind, that's not a positive place. So I wish them well, for also my own cosmic luck, so that I wouldn't get shit on in life. And that's it. But it didn't happen the way that I think they thought it was going to happen, that I thought it was. I thought they were really going to stay together, and but no, that didn't happen.
Mm. So you said she was just saying, I got your man, huh?
But you know what? That's okay, because out of all of it, I found peace with myself. I started loving myself, living for myself, right? Like becoming a vegetarian, deciding to be celibate, right? Just to better myself, be a better person,
Okay.
and not be a fake, not live this life where you claim to love God and you claim to be all these things. But I feel like, no, I truly love God and nature because I don't eat its animals, even though so it's everybody says, well, you're a carnivore, you're born a carnivore. Okay, well, there were dinosaurs that were born omnivores. So this is just what I feel. It makes me feel like a better person to not be a part of that system. So there's things we can do in our life to be better people, and cutting out sex and not eating meat, having self-control, thinking of self. That's a bigger purpose to me than anything else.
Yeah.
It just so happens I'm a dominatrix and I gotta make money off of, looking sexy and beating up dudes, but that's not my personal life. So
Do you still dance?
no, no, I haven't danced in, like, I've been a dominatrix for 25 years. So I haven't danced since I started domination.
So
So
how do you do that? Tell me about that. What do you do? Like, is this something you do? Like, you advertise this?
I do occasionally. I'll do when things get a little slow for me. But I've worked as pro dominatrix in the real scene for a long time, so I'm just kind of known about for sessions for a real session for like Japanese bondage or medical play or things like that. So and in fetish, it's specialized, and so you need to have someone with some skill and craft. And because I've been doing it for so long, it gets you work. Domination is the only sex work that you can actually age with, right? Like
Mhm.
everybody wants you young as a stripper, as a escort. Youth is your money, but in domination, because it takes skill and you have to be knowledgeable. People really want women who have done it for a long time, who are experienced.
Mm.
Yeah. So medical play is crazy. You asked me the craziest thing I wore, and I told you the craziest thing I did was give a man breast and a vagina.
You gave him that?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I have a procedure where I inflate a man's chest with saline solution, and then I do a method where I cut from the base of the balls up. I flip the balls out, move the fat around, I tuck under, and then I staple. So it creates, and I have to tuck the penis head and the balls in there, and then I fold it around, and it makes a vagina. So
So,
that's why when you were like, people pay to see you strip and like, no, not my clients. They don't. They want to be the ones stripping and the ones with the pussy, not me.
whoa. Literally, they want you to do that to them?
Yeah, that's why I try to tell you guys like about Adam and the things that Adam does, like with the black men. It's largely sexual, and when you like work in fetish, you realize how much white men have an obsession with black men. And so it's, I see right through everything he's doing, everything that Whack is doing with their sex play with each other. I see it, I know what's going on. And yeah. No, I'm not a doctor, but I've been in sex work for a long time, and that says something, unfortunately.
Okay, so you said you've been doing this for 25 years?
Yeah, I've stripping since I was 18. When I turned 18, got out there and started stripping, and found my way. I was actually scouted to be a dominatrix. I had done some other things, like modeled for Rockaware and just some other stuff, but I didn't like I wasn't really into like real modeling or the entertainment industry. I enjoyed fetish, and I still do enjoy it. And so
Mm. So you enjoy the dominatrix.
I do. I do. I enjoy it. What do you mean, Big Steve? I'm not trolling. Why would I troll? I never talk about this. I'm just talking about it because I'm on here. Like I never bring up my work. Very rarely, unless we're discussing things like the Cassie case, and I feel,
Don't worry about the comments. You let them comment. This just us. The comments gonna comment. Don't worry about the comments. You know. So who introduced you to this? Is this something that do you have this done right here?
do I have what done?
The chess.
Why are you? Why don't you just say, "Are your breasts done?" Why do you have
Yeah.
to talk about my breasts like that?
Now, because the way you came in the camera, they just took over the camera. So I just
Well,
was
I was
asking.
trying to fix the camera, man. Focus. The eyes are up here, man. The eyes are up here.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta look into the camera. We can't see. That's all we see. I ain't gonna lie.
Shut up. That is not all you see.
Okay, we gotta get you put the camera up a little bit. Yeah.
How's that
Okay,
better?
there you go. There you go. See, I wanted to tell you that.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I just letting you know. So, who introduced you to this?
What do you mean who introduced
Like,
me?
how did you have like a friend that was into the dominatrix and she was like, "Yo, girl, listen, this is where the money is. You don't really got to do too much. They want you to do everything to them." And you like seen how it went and you was like, "Yo, I like this."
Well, yeah, that actually, it's kind of what happened. I was, I was picking up weed from like a celebrity dealer,
Okay.
and there was a celebrity band there, and I walked in, and one of these famous dudes said something about my breasts, and he said something like her breast walked in before her or something like that,
Okay.
and I snapped on him, right? And I can't remember what I said, but I got up, like just got upset and was like, dude, fuck you. And there was a lady there that was a famous dominatrix, and she took me to the side. She gave me her business card, and she liked my moxie. She said she liked how I handled the situation, and she felt that I was truly dominant. And so I thought that was cool, and I went, I checked it out. She had a dungeon. She was a real mistress who tied up men for days, and left them in cages and beat them with, so I thought that was just really cool, and I kind of had it in me. So that's how I found it. And she mentored me, right? Because when you're in domination, like, you have to learn things about medical play, right? So you have to learn safety, and you could kill someone with the ropes and stopping circulation. So there's all
Yeah.
these things you have to learn, right? You have to learn all this training, which is why, like I said, when I heard the Cassie and the Diddy stuff, I was like, what the fuck is going on? There is an art to fetish and play and consensual play and professionalism. And so yeah, so I had to train under her for like a couple years, and then I figured out how to do a bondage properly, and how to you know do things like the castration and things like that.
Okay. Have you ever let anybody do the dominatrix on you?
Never. Never. And it's so sad, because now, in the industry there's lots of black women, and they're doing fetish shows, but they're the submissives, and I don't agree with that at all. I don't dominate black men. If a black man wants to join me in a show and dominate with me, that's I love that, but I do not dominate black men. Only white men.
Oh. So, but you never had it done to you.
No, never.
Okay.
Never. But I don't kink shame those who do it, but I don't, that's not what turns me on. I don't enjoy a man tying me up. I always tell women that are into being submissive, I always tell them the fun of domination is the role reversal. And in society, men rule, and so there is an amazing turn on being in control in the bedroom, and more women need to explore this.
Mm.
I say that I don't dominate black men, because what I do is largely based on racial play. So I'm degrading the man's race as a white man, right? So I don't want to do that to a black man. And so I often get black men, usually in England, in the UK, oddly enough, who contact me, and they want to be dominated, and I don't do that. because
Mm.
that's not, in society, that's the way we live. Why you're here, the fun of it is the reversal.
So is it like more common for white men to want to be dominated by a black woman?
Yes, yes, it is. That's why I'm like, there's, black men rarely, it is the rarest thing. I mean, it is so rare that a black man wants to be dominated. It's it's not even 1%, and so that shows you that there is conscious thinking in this sexual play of domination and just role playing. That the black men do not want to be done. They don't want to be tied up. Some do, but it's rare. And I don't judge those that want to. I just choose not to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you like to do and you into it, and they into it, I guess it pays the bills, but that is different that you do that and that you say you make sure that you only do it with this certain group of people because they like it. Um, and do they get referrals from other white men like, yo, she's gonna take care of you?
Well, I don't take care of anybody. They take care of me.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I'm saying like when I say
and
take care of them, like that might be their fetish. Like, they might have like a group chat where they want to be dominated and they like, yo, she's gonna dominate you the best ever.
Yeah, that I've yeah, I've had referrals like that. Yeah, I do. I get referrals from men who are in fetish groups, and they'll say, "I know a great mistress in California." I even get sometimes I'll get other sex workers that contact me. And here's the one that upsets me the most. I'll get like prostitutes,
Mm-hmm.
and they will contact me for a session with their client and them on cam. So
Mm.
yeah, and the part that I hate the most is like usually the guy will pay me more than he is the woman that he's, in these situations with. And that's upset. I get upset about that.
Oh. And these guys, they never want to do anything but bondage and dominatrix.
Well, they also like me. I also, in my sessions, I wear a strap on dick.
What? You literally peg these guys?
No, I don't peg. I've pegged before, but just the presence of me wearing the dick, it is a part of my costume, right? Like I cannot have a session where I'm not wearing it. It is a request. I get paid extra, and it can't be they don't want a brown colored dick. I always wear black, the color black, to assert my dominance. um so yeah, I wear a 12-inch huge dick, and I strap it on, and I wear it with my boots, and I got my whip, and that's a part of the domination. And again, that's why I say the world is really obsessed with the black man's cock.
Wow. Wow. That there, yeah, that's a lot.
No, our chicks with dicks are transgendered. I'm just a woman who wears a strap on dick.
Okay. And the guy that you were in a relationship with for 15 years, did he want you to do the dominatrix to him?
Yeah, he did. He actually, I find that a lot of my partners do enjoy dominance because I'm naturally a naturally dominant woman.
Mm.
So I think I tend to attract submissive men, not even on purpose, but like I'll, it just happens.
So you just that you
And
attract,
I enjoy
huh?
I enjoy it when I'm, with certain partners, so
Okay. So your ex used to allow you to do this to him. He never wanted to do it to you?
I when I look back and I realize that so there's a rule we have in fetish, right? So to truly be a dominatrix, you need to have been a sub. You need to have been a submissive. And so I feel like my ex did want to be a dominant. And again, he was in his life. He was a biker, fully tattooed, right? Like grew up as a biker kid. Dad was in the Hells Angels. So it's like, he grew up dominant, lived a dominant life, but enjoyed um, this play with me. But like I said, I feel like he was also really craving, dominance and probably wanting to tie me up and put a ball gag in my mouth at some point.
And you've never let a guy do that stuff to you?
No, never. I'm not turned on by that. I'm a black woman. That's all I can say. I'm a black woman who's older. I've noticed a lot of black girls now, the younger ones, oh my god, they love that. They're the ones with like the tattoos and the nose rings, and they're like, tie me up, call me the N-word. I'm just that is not I just have no desire to be dominated. That's always bothered me, so that's but like a man has that choice, right? A man doesn't Not all men want to be dominated, so I feel the same way. I don't want to be dominated. I don't want to be spanked. I want my hair pulled. I don't like that.
So no guy's ever attempted those things.
No, never. I've always said, and I've had amazing lovers. I've had some of the bad. I feel like I hear some girls' stories and I can't even believe it. Even my experience breaking my celibacy last year to the younger guy, I was just like, I can't believe this is what's out here. I can't believe this is what these ladies are accepting.
Mm, mm. And I am, glad though that, you're talking about this because uh people really don't understand that there's all different type of people. You really don't know how someone is if they don't explain it to you. Somebody can just look like they're not into certain things and but they're into certain things. Like, have you ever dated a black man?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Of course. My first fiance when I was a very young lady was a black man. If you ever dated a black man, how dare you?
No, I'm asking because you might not feel like black men are for you because there's some guys that feel like black women aren't for them and they only like white women.
No. And let me just say that that is so common with black men. Black women rarely feel like that. Black women who date outside the race usually tend to be hyper sensitive about race in black men. So it's the black man who actually sells out his people when he goes and dates on the other side. The black woman doesn't do that, and it's unfortunate, but that's just what I've seen dating interracially. And like, or the fact that a black man will give you a dirty look. He'll be with a white woman and he'll give you a dirty look if he sees you with a white man. Stuff
Okay.
so that's just been my experience. Like, black men who date white women tend to sell out. you know Black woman who dates a white man, honey, she starts wearing her hair natural. I never wore weaves with my white boyfriends or anything. That no, no,
Okay. But when you was with a black man, you used to wear weaves?
um the times that not because of them, it just happened to be the time, right? Like I was younger and I started wearing tracks, but I'm just saying that when you tend to date a white man, you tend to want to, if you're a proud black person, the way I grew up, right, Jamaican and Ethiopian, you grow up with pride in your race, and so like every white man that I've dated ends up having me dreadlock their hair, right? And I enjoyed that then, not now. I'm like, fuck, what was I doing? I started this trend of giving these white boys these horrible dreadlocks, 25 years ago. So but I took that as a compliment that they wanted to learn more about my culture, and they respected my black race, and so see, even Tommy got dreadlocks. So
Okay. And
every single one of them ends up having me dreadlock their hair. So,
now,
but you don't notice that with black men, right? You don't notice them dreadlocking their white women's hair, do we? Shannon Sharp didn't have his girl running around with locks, did he? No.
he just took her for the white girl she was. He wanted a white girl.
That's right. That's right. Black women tend to go deeper with it. Like, if you want to love me, okay, well, you need to learn about my history. You need to, and if you're a proud black woman, that's what you should do. Dating outside your race, you need to find someone, a white man who's if he didn't grow up around black people, you better fucking tell him the truth, and open his eyes, and that's.
So, did you get frozen? Did your phone ring or something? Cause you frozen. Mistress Adina, did your phone ring? Or are you frozen? Okay. Yeah. I think her phone might have froze or something. Yeah. This is interesting. Okay, you're back.
I think I lost you for a minute.
Yeah, you're back. I wanted to ask you though, did you feel like black men mistreated you that made you attracted to white men?
No, no. I am, you know, growing up, my father he dated multiculturally, right? And so did my entire family. And my godfather was Cuban growing up, and I absolutely adored him. So younger, I was immersed around all cultures, not just Jamaican men, not just Ethiopian men, not just American black. I was immersed in it all. And so when you grow up like that, you're attracted to everything because you see everything as the same, right?
Okay.
Especially in Jamaica. My grandmother, my Jamaican grandmother, having English relationships with English men. My mom dating outside her race, my father dating outside his race. So this is it had nothing to do with black or white. It was just who you were attracted to,
Okay.
which is how it should always be. Now, have I become bitter with some, not bitter with some races, but understanding that some races will never really be one with us, yes. Realizing that when you date interracially, and not just date, but when I would go into families, right? So, becoming one with a family, marrying in, being with for years and years, not just like, hooking up with, right? So when I say date, the men I dated, I lived with. I never had short-term relationships. That's just how I lived, and I enjoyed that. Just meeting someone, connecting with them, waiting a few months, and I go, "Damn, I'm in love. Let's get married." And staying with them for a long time. So that was my. I tried a one night stand once, and I met a beautiful Asian boy, Jershi Lin, and we ended up together in a long-term relationship. That was supposed to be my one night stand. I was going out as a single lady. I was going to try this, and me and this guy ended up staying together for a long time. So, I never had short-term relationships.
And he was Asian?
Yes, he was Taiwanese.
Okay.
Was such a beautiful, amazing man, and but it didn't work out because of his family. They were just not accepting of it, and as a black woman, I say, if you're going to date interracially, don't put up with the bullshit of the family. It's just, you shouldn't have to deal with it. They're never going to get over it, and just find someone that you match with in their family better, because the family always comes with the guy. If you date like if you live like I live, right, and you connect with someone and you create long-term bonds.
Yeah, Asian definitely, don't accept the people that in their family that date outside the race.
No, it was very hard. He was an amazing guy, USC graduate, musician, and rich kid. And his mom, she would cry about me, and I cried at the dinner table in public, and I just thought, this is fucking ridiculous. What am I doing? I'm never gonna win this woman over. We've been together for years and years. We're living in this, just so it's unfortunate, but
Hmm. This is interesting. The guy that you were in a relationship with, the one that you said you cheated with your sister, has he always dated black women?
no, he didn't. Oh, I left again.
Now you
Sorry,
still
guys.
there?
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, it told me that I left again. I was his first black girlfriend. So that was a lot, and the way I met him was a lot. And I can't believe you said I was spending time doing my hair. My afro looks crazy. What are you talking about? Um, no, my ex, the biker dude that I met, I actually started working in a titty bar in Long Beach, next to like a oil refinery, right? So it was
Okay.
like good money. And but it wasn't a titty bar, it was like a bikini bar. And I saw this biker dude come in, and his hand was in a cast, and he looked like a fucking racist. I was like, God, this, I'm an LA girl. Long Beach is a whole nother beast. I made great money working there, but it's just a weird mix of dudes. And long story short, I lose a bet, and the whole bar, we end up with like band-aids on our nipples. And that's how we met. And then he courted me for months, and then I got fired because the owner found out, like, I was talking to one of the customers. And then we moved in and fell in love, and he slept with my sister. So what do you want, Desi?
Okay. So is your sister small like you?
No, she's my sister is actually my sisters are actually quite large. They they got big old butts and they're thick and I've always been like petite, So my sister, she's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. But this is what I've learned about cheating. It's not really not about the sexual experience. It's really about wanting to hurt the other person,
Okay.
right? So it's really not because when he finally lost me and they didn't have something to bond over, that shit exploded, in their faces. They got all fucking weird with each other,
Okay.
so a lot of times cheating is actually from bonding from doing bad.
Mm.
So that's what I learned. So it's important for people who get cheated on, don't take it personal. It's not your fault. It really isn't your fault, and I never saw it as my fault. And that's the number one question people always ask. They say, well, how does she look? And I always think they think it's about the looks, and it's like, no, she's a fat ass. She's got four different kids by four different babies daddies. But it's not always about the looks. It's about the pain of it for the
Mm.
person.
And
And then that's the only thing it made me think was, damn, how the fuck, what, I would think to myself, aren't you supposed to be nicer because you're cheating? But cheating actually makes a man mean because he actually
mm.
feels guilt, right? So a lot of times women will start getting abused and they don't understand why. And that's why, because they're dealing with this guilt and shame, and they're cavemen. They're like rock stick, da 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 da. They don't know how to deal with it, right? And so that's what I hear. Some women, they're like, I don't know why my guy started being abusive, and it's like, well, it comes from, and it's a selfish thing that they feel bad about themselves.
Mm. That's something. That's something.
There's beauty, there I've learned in fetish and in life that there is beauty in pain. There is a reason for pain. When we sense pain, we want to make ourselves well, right? We know
Hmm.
something's wrong. There is beauty in pain, healing, becoming better. There's growth in pain. So you can't always see pain as this horrible thing. And that's actually a Mother Teresa quote. There is beauty in pain.
Okay. But you don't want no pain.
You know, we have to go through things in life, right? And it'd be selfish of us to ever not want pain, or never ask for pain when there's so many people suffering. So I'll just take what comes to me and I'll handle it, you know? And I'll
Okay.
grow from it. You grow from your pain. You grow from your bad experiences. You don't become like whack and get weird and start making girls stick fingers in your butt. You grow from your.
That's wax ill.
That's I oh when I first heard about that with whack, and when the girl described it, and she said, and Desi, I'm telling you, this is only something someone would know if someone had asked her to do it, and someone who has experienced the anal play. And she said, he told me to twist my hand when my fingers were in there and go like this. I said, this motherfucker's a booty bandit. He is for sure a professional, not only a booty bandit, but a professional booty bandit, and he's making women do
Yeah, that's sick.
it. women who don't There's plenty of women who want to play with your booty whack, and there's plenty of men who want to play with your booty. Stop trying to get the ones who don't want to play with your booty to do it. It's a thing of it's control. He's dominating them. That's so horrible.
Mm, yeah, that's definitely sick. Um, yeah, that's sick. Now, when you was with the guy in this relationship for the 15 years, you had these clients as well, right?
I had my clients when I started to sense he had became abusive. It started off as like control and then abuse. I realized I needed to get back into domination. So I
Mm,
had been retired, and I had told him, I'm gonna go back into it. I'm gonna start making clips because I hadn't made clips before, and I had connected. I had told my friends like I'm stacking up. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
mm.
Something's wrong. I went to counseling. you know um tried to deal with his issues as a man, whatever he was going through, and I just couldn't figure it out. He was doing things like coming home drunk, being abusive. I was trying, and people were telling me, stand by your man, hang in there, this is, you love him. But when I realized, like, this guy doesn't love me anymore, and he's living a living a life I'm not going to accept. I realized I had to start making money, and I had to get a job, and I started doing domination again, and started making clips with my friends at our dungeon, and saved up money, and had my plan, and kicked him out the whole bits, did it.
So you was making money off these clips on social media?
Yeah, this was when I started making clips. It was like, it wasn't that Twitter was new, but it was still like not, I don't know, it was still fresh. I think it had been, I think I started back like, oh gosh, I don't want to say the wrong date, and I can't remember, but it was a while ago, but Twitter was still like, it still was fresh.
Hmm.
You could advertise yourself, and you would get tributes, constantly all through the day. I would get tributes from guys, who were fans of Fetish, and all I would do was like post a picture. And I thought this was before girls were posting pictures of themselves and documenting their lives, and this was before Instagram, this was before TikTok, and I just thought, this is crazy. You can make so much money, advertising yourself. And I had been professional, so I paid for advertising all my career. You pay thousands and thousands of dollars. I was like, this is crazy. This is free. And you get all these people all across the world. And so it was, I had just happened to get into it at the right time and figure it out. I was like, okay, I could do this. I can, make, and I've only made, my whole time I've been working, I've only made like 22 clips. And I've sold the same clips the
What?
entire time.
So you resell these clips?
Oh, just I lived really well off of these clips for 8 years. I lived well enough where I wasn't having to work. I didn't have an OnlyFans. These were just the clip stores that we had always used. But then OnlyFans came around, and it just killed our business as small clip stores, and it changed everything. It
And you
changed
never
everything.
had a OnlyFans?
Never. Never. I joined it with my friend. I was trying to get my friend, my transgender friend, to join it, and I signed, but I never went and got approved. No, never joined one. Never uploaded. Never. Yeah.
Well,
I
don't you
I
think you would have probably made a lot of money if you was on OnlyFans doing that to
I
people?
know.
Because
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? It's time, dude. It's time to sell out.
Listen, I mean, you said you got these clips. You could, start selling them on there too. Make more. If you got
Yeah,
clients, yeah.
but there's a sweet thing that I have, and it's like privacy, right? Like I lost my Instagram, they banned me, and I love not having an Instagram. Like it's so nice. It's just like I enjoy like privacy and how it used to be, you
Okay.
know? And so but that makes me, I'm old school. I'm old school, and I'm a dinosaur. I'm gonna die out. It's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, it seems like you like what you into, and you've been doing it for a while. So it doesn't seem like you plan on stopping anytime soon. So
No, no, no. I always tell ladies that are in sex work, even if you do get a real job, keep your phone line, keep your cam line. Always, like, get your little side money, right? Like people have side jobs, right? So it's a good side job to have.
hmm. Have you been married before?
Yes, I have been married. I'm actually still married.
Oh, so the guy that's married to you, his wife is the dominatrix lady, and he's married.
Well, we're no, we're estranged. I haven't seen this person in like, we were married when we were 21, and I haven't seen him since. So
What?
yeah,
So what are you doing? Securing your
not 21. We were I was it was 21 to like 23. He was the strip club guy. He was the strip club dude. And so for 3 years, and then we broke up, and we both ran away from each other because we were living this crazy ass stripper, like we had our wedding at a strip club at the Spearmint Rhino in Las Vegas, our celebration, like after we got married. It was a jinx. Everything was it was a jinx. So
y'all got
yeah,
married at the strip club.
we got married at the Whitechapel, and then we had like a huge party at the Spearmint Rhino Las Vegas,
Mm.
because those were our coworkers. We were all connected. It was so stupid. It was a jinx.
And
Right? Take marriage serious.
you're legally married.
I am still legally married.
So what are you trying to make sure you get the benefits? You're not gonna do the divorce or something?
No, what are you talking about? No, no,
No,
no,
some
not
women
the
they might
benefits.
know
We've
that.
just we've
Some women might know
no
that they,
every
they can benefit later in life if, something happens to them, no matter like y'all not together, you still get the benefits first.
No, it was we met at 21. I it's there would be no way. We it was like it was over within 2 years. We stayed connected for a third. It was like there'd be no way. And I wouldn't want that. But we always, every relationship I would have, they would try and make me, and we'd run into all these problems or issues, and it just never happened. So
Hmm.
it's so dysfunctional, right? It's crazy.
You've been
But this is what I'm glad about. If I had have been divorced, I would have married the guy that cheated with my sister. So
you wanted to marry him?
being he wanted to marry me. He gave me a beautiful big old ring that's in the pawn shop. I always get a good amount of money for it. I always take a loan against it and get it back.
Okay.
Um, but but you know, he wanted to marry me numerous times, and we went to Vegas, and we actually walked into court, and he was upset that I couldn't get this whole thing, taken care of. And so, but if I hadn't been married to this other loser, Italian loser, I would have married the biker dude. And wow, that would have been horrible. So everything, again, everything happens for a reason.
Mm. You think your sister still communicate with them every now and then?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I don't really talk to my family. My mom passed away in March,
Yeah, I'm
and
sorry to hear that.
thank you. And it just, we just it's such a dysfunction that it's okay to make a family, right? When you figure things out and you heal, and you have things like childhood trauma or abuse in childhood, it's important to let go. Sometimes we have to let go of family, even though they're blood, but to heal, that's a part of the process. And so I had excommunicated my family so long ago that it's I it never really felt like a family,
Mm.
right? So family is what you make it, not
Yeah, I
not
understand
who you
that.
were born into, right?
Yeah, I
And then
definitely.
I'm always happy when I make family, because that's so much more important. Because anyone can be, you can have to make someone your family. But my neighbors, my friends, I didn't have to make them my friends. They chose me, and that feels good.
Yeah, that's deep.
Shut up, Mel G.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah, I mean, I see you like what you do and you've been through some things, but whatever makes you happy in your life, that's all that counts. No matter what nobody think, it's your life. You gotta live it. Nobody else. So
That's right. That's right. Bon Jovi said it best. It's my life. It's now or never. I
yeah,
ain't gonna live forever.
yeah,
It's my life.
yeah. You like tying men up,
Jesus Christ.
preferably preferably white
Easy,
guys.
easy, homie. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Like tie a man up. Like, what
yeah.
is up with
I
that?
mean, but that's just your role play. You playing your role. They got this little black girl, right? that
Whoa,
that
bro. Easy, buddy.
I'm just saying it how it is.
Not little.
Let me see.
Well, I am kind of. No, you guys said my boobs were disturbing, like everybody does. I can't grow up. All of my greasy self. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you, and then until next time.